Hmm. All right, all right. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff. Right off the bat, I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, all of that. If you want to be a YouTube channel member, hit the join button. We got a lot of great things that we do for the members over there. Um, One-on-one sessions, document review sessions. For members who are getting their first assignment or stuck on something, you get to call me if you need help during the signing, all of that good stuff. So also thank you for your comments. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to put it in the comment section. But if for some reason I don't get back to you, because sometimes I forget, feel free to email me also at the link at the email address that you see on the screen here. And and then if I for some reason still don't respond, okay, just send me a reminder. Don't get mad at me, okay? Don't cancel me out because of that. So this subject of notaries getting paid hourly pay for notaries, that is a big thing because a lot of people coming off of your job into business, you're trying to equate the one-on-one because you're in your mind, you're just saying, well, I'm going to put X amount of hours into this business and I want to get compensated just as well as I was at my job. So therefore, you're trying to calculate your take-home revenue. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. I'm a little tired. Your take-home pay and all of that. For from a business owner's perspective, that's not necessarily the case. That's really not how business owners calculate the money that they're making because you have to be able to have money left over, enough money left over to even give yourself any kind of pay. Okay. So if you have money left over, well, you can do what they call as an owner's draw. My accountant talks about that in a video that we did, several videos that we've done together. But you, so before you talk about paying yourself, you get that owner's draw to pay your mortgage, your light bills, all of that. Take money from your business account, put it into your personal account, and pay your bills. So if you're talking about, well, I want to pay myself a salary to pay my bills, then that means the money you get after taxes from your salary is what you have left over to pay your bills. You probably be better just doing an owner's draw. Okay, I need if I'm making $7,000 a month, I need $3,000 just to pay my bills. And if that's what you and if you have that money available after you paid your business expenses, whatever they may be for the month, then you say, okay, now I take 3 grand, I pay all my utilities, this, that, and the other, car note, whatever you got to pay. Boom. But that's not what's being taught. What's being taught is that you should be aiming to get paid something per hour. And that's why a lot of people want to go direct. They're thinking that if I go direct, I can get paid more money, which equates to me actually giving myself a salary. Starting a business, you trying to extract a salary for yourself as a business owner should not even be a primary message to yourself. You shouldn't even be thinking about that. There's a video that I'm gonna link up right here at this point in time that to Kim Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki's wife, where she started talking um about paychecks and stuff, about how they first 5 years they didn't get a paycheck in their business that they started. A lot of people are looking for that paycheck. They're looking for that hourly rate to justify that this is even something good. But that's not how business money revenue is calculated. So we're going to go to our favorite tool, your favorite tool, not mine, ChatGPT, which is going to talk about that. So, do business owners get paid an hourly rate? And it says generally business owners do do not get paid an hourly rate because they are not employees of their own business. Instead, business owners typically receive compensation through profits, dividends, and distributions that owners draw. Profits are the money left over after all expenses of the business have been paid. Business owners can take a salary or a draw from the profits of the business, but the amount they receive may vary depending on the profitability of the business. So this goes back to what I always say: you got to be doing work, you got to be doing business. If you're not out there trying to make money, if you're not out there taking orders, you have no way of even trying to calculate any kind of profit, any kind of having money to pay for any of your business expenses, to even have a profit left over. You can't have anything left over when you are a business owner, but all you're doing is taking your W-2 salary to pay your business expenses. You haven't brought in any revenue. And all you're doing is loaning yourself money that you should be paying back. So you've loaned yourself $2,000 to pay your $2,000 in notary expenses, i.e., your training courses and all of that. All of these are loans from your personal to the business, and you can legally do that. Just check with your accountant. You can loan yourself money to your business and then use that to pay out. But where's the revenue coming from so you can pay back your business, your own personal, that personal loan that you made to yourself? You made a loan to your business, but you're not bringing any revenue in. And then next month you make another loan to your business and you still ain't made any revenue. You got to be making some kind of revenue, and that's what the issue is. So you're talking about being profitable, but you're not bringing in any revenue. And then most people are thinking that, that profitability is all centered on you getting the maximum amount out, that every order you take is $300-400, and that determines profitability. No, it doesn't, because if either one of these here cancels on me, guess what? That can hurt my business. How long will it take for me to replace these items if they cancel out on me? If they expire, I'm done till I get some new ones. That's why over there, I got two more, one of each. One of each one of these over there, dual tray, everything. I got two scanners. If one goes out, I got it. I'm got to be careful of saying the D word here. That's why I keep saying cancel, expire. So I don't say that because YouTube will flag it if they hear that word and all of that. So y'all know what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about expire, cancel, meaning they stop working. Okay. So if those items stop working, the cell phones I got stop working, the tablet, the laptop that I'm using, the monitors, if the stuff that I use for the business fizzes out, that can mess with my revenue. That can destroy my revenue, and which means it messes with my profitability. So you got to be doing business and you got to be having stuff come in. And once you have stuff come in, because people think I'm gonna make more money by charging $400 for a power of attorney. Well, no sooner than you charge $400, guess what? You got to buy a new phone. You got to buy this. You got to buy that. So it can mess up. So you got to be doing business over a certain amount of time, and we're gonna get into that. So it goes also into saying dividends are payments made to shareholders. So you don't have, most notaries don't have shareholders, so we don't even need to worry about that. Distributions are similar to dividend, but are typically made by partners of the LLC. Distribution are payments made to owners of the business based on the owner's percentage. Well, we're 100% owners because we're not having a partnership, so that means all the money will come to you. Okay. Um, then this next question is: business revenue based on an hourly basis? Business revenue is typically not based on an hourly basis. This is from y'all's buddy, ChatGPT. It's telling you, you typically do not base your revenue, your business revenue, on an hourly basis. Revenue is the total amount of money a business earns from its products or services over a given period of time, such as a month or a year. It is calculated by multiplying the number of units sold by the price per unit. Now, we're talking about over a period of time. If you're not doing any work, then you have no period of time to calculate business revenue. Revenue is the total amount of money a business earns from its products or services over a given period of time. The only people who might be considered profitable or even in a position to do this are those who just selling us courses. Those people have created a course one time and then they're just selling it over and 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 over again. with very little overhead after they get the initial build out, and you're spending your money on all these different courses and stuff. They're making revenue, and the expense of doing that is probably a couple of $100 a month for the platform that they're using, but they're making 10, 20, 15, $30,000 a month off of notaries buying those courses. So that means they're a lot more profitable, period. However, you aren't taking any orders. You aren't going out there doing any work. So over your period of time, let's just say a month, what have you done in the past 30 days? Nothing, because you are saying that's beneath me. I can't take that. That's worrisome. I ain't messing with that. They're getting on my nerves. I'm not. Okay, so at some point in time, you're going to have to realize that you don't have any revenue coming in. So are you really in business? But you're spending more and more money to go to every type of event, every training session, this, that, and the other, but yet you won't take an order to at least have revenue coming in. And see, here's the thing: it says revenue is the total amount of money. It didn't say revenue is every notary assignment that you made that you took that was $150 or more. Doesn't matter. You make 1 cent. If you got paid a penny, that's revenue. That's money coming into you, period. You get enough of those, guess what? Boom. So you got to do the work. So it goes on and talks about revenue can come from various sources, sales, commissions, or royalties. It is not directly tied to the number of hours worked in a business, worked by the business owners or employees. However, the amount of revenue a business generate can be influenced by those factors, such as time, effort, investing in marketing, sales, and pro- mm, production activities. So when people are talking about this hourly pay, they keep talking about, you know, you did an $85 order and it only equated to $4 an hour or $10 an hour and all of that kind of stuff. How do they know? How do they really know that might have been for them? And if that's the case, then maybe they don't know how to run their business right. Maybe they don't know how to do their business right. That's really where the problem comes in at. Because a lot of people keep talking about this worth. Know your worth. What is your worth? My worth is this. You're talking about you as an individual. Your client is not looking at what you are worth. They're looking at what you provide them. What is that worth? Because you think about it, you can provide them the service of a notary, but let's just say you farm it out as you become a signing company. You got 15 orders that came in this week. You legitimately can only do 7. You take the other ones and the other 9 and you give it out to other notaries. So based on the way that they perform, that also adds value, or that question that provides that answers the question of, did you provide value? So you as the individual can provide value to them, but did the other notaries who you farmed it out to, that you're getting paid to pay them, did they provide the necessary value? And even when it's, because if you think about it, you're asking to be paid as an individual based off based off of who you are. When you go to pay those notaries, it's based off of what y'all agreed upon. It has nothing to do with how you value them. If all you got was $100 to pay them, so now you got to take your part. Well, you say I'm taking $25 out of each one, then that means you only giving them 75. Or you won't have that. I mean, you giving them $50 and you keep 50. So you're really not paying them their worth. You're paying them what you can afford to pay them. And that's what we're getting paid. So you got to really think about that. So let's look at this here. Here's another question from ChatGPT. Oops, wrong one. There we go. How to get paid your worth. Getting paid your worth as a business owner involves several factors, including the value you provide to your customers. If you're not doing any work, you can't even begin to talk about getting paid your worth, because you're not providing value to anybody. You want them to think, you want them to pay you on this imaginary value that you're supposed to be adding, but you haven't even done anything for them. They're like, look, I'm paying you, so just go do the work first and let me determine whether or not you gave me what the value that I'm looking for. The industry, the providing to your customers, the industry you're in, and the competition. So you got to look at that. Those are factors, which is the value of the value you provide to your customers, what is the industry that you're in, and the competition that's around you. So one of the things they talk about is conduct market research. This is a double-edged sword in some cases because some people who are that's their background, and primarily from a W-2 standpoint, yeah, I can see, but I don't think notaries can or need to do this high thing of market research, depending on where you live at, because it's all about where you're at. It may or may not work. You know, um, like it talks about looking at what competitors are charging and what value they provide, they are providing to their customers. The question is, the only value that we need to provide, the main thing is making sure that we show up on time, documents, signatures on documents are notarized properly, we ship out, we do this, we don't have attitude. And the main value you can add, which is the killer of most notary businesses, or the not killer, my apologies, YouTube, which is the demise of most you which is the demise of most notary businesses, not that other word, the demise, my apologies, YouTube, is them not fixing errors they made. That's the true value. If you can do that, you got it going on. You really do have it going on. I got to be careful how I say words because YouTube will flag everything. Then it talks about communicate your value proposition. Clearly communicate the value you provide to your customers. This can be done through marketing, directly to the customers. Now, some of you have issues talking to people. If you have issues talking with people, you'll never get to a point of being able to actually communicate and say to them any of this stuff down here. Build your brand, focus on customer retention, be confident. The confidence is the key because if you have issues speaking to people, if you have issues just even taking an order, then how can you be confident in anything else regarding your business? It's very hard for you to be confident if you are scared to take an order. So let me go back to this other question. As a business owner, talk about calculating your net worth. Your net worth is calculated by subtracting your liabilities from your assets. In order to calculate net worth as a business owner, you need to take into account all the value of your business, investments, all of that. This is, this is when they talk about business worth or worth, it's talking about business. It's not talking about you as an individual. I'm not even gonna read this. Y'all can look at this. I'm gonna because I'm gonna have in the description the terms that I use, and you can go throw it in the chat GPT yourself. But it was one thing that I did want to here it is. Communicate the property. And this is what I mean. I got distracted. Be sure to highlight the benefits of your product or services and how they can help your customers solve a problem or meet a need. This is very, very key here. This is very key. And again, you got to be able to communicate and open your mouth and talk to people. But before they listen to you, they got to know that you've actually been doing work for them. If you ain't been doing no work for them, if all you doing is just begging for work and begging, begging, begging for more and more money out of them, but you really haven't done anything for them, then why do they even want to listen to you? People listen to those who provide value to their life. If you're not providing value to the person who you want to extract money from, they're not going to listen to you. So if you really, really want somebody to hear you and hear your proposal about how great you are, and well, really about how great you are and how much money you need to do what? Be working for them and providing something for them before you start asking them to provide you more. That's just simply it. So if you're unwilling to do that, unable to do that, they're not listening to you. They'll look you in the eye and just bypass you altogether. So I'm gonna keep this short. The bottom line is this. People keep saying keeps comparing what we're getting paid as notaries based on an hourly rate. That is a W-2 mentality. And in my opinion, shame on those who keep doing that because you're not taking into account the tax deductions that we get. Some people are, but they're miscalculating them. They're calculating them incorrectly. You need to get with a pub certified public accountant, a tax professional who can help you with that. People going to say what they want to say out here on this YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, TikTok. That's fine. And I'm not saying that they can't say it. You say whatever you want. I don't care about what you say. I care about people executing what you said without proper research on on what was said. You got to research it. And I like the fact that y'all are saying stuff because by you saying it, it lets me know, okay, let me research that. Let me see if let me see what the real answer is because people are making statements out there. I'm like, you know what? Let me go research that. Like one of the statements people are saying out there about translation services that notaries can provide translation services. We can. Well, you can facilitate the translation service. Is that legal? Well, I don't know if it's legal in your state. The moment somebody tells me they don't know if it's legal in my state, but they're trying to get me to take a course on what they don't know whether it's legal in my state, I'm not spending money with you. Why don't you go find out whether it's legal in my state? Well, I mean, it's your state. Wait a minute, you're trying to get me to pay you money for something that you don't even know if I should be legally doing. You're asking me to do stuff and provide this so-called value in loan closings by saying things about the documents that you don't even know if I can legally do in my state. That's not right. Okay. If you want me to say something, if you feel that I need to say these things or this adds value to the whole session, then what you need to do is find out whether or not I'm legally allowed to do it. I know what I understood I'm legally allowed to do, and it doesn't, and what you're asking me to do doesn't fit in that realm. So I'm not going to do it. But then you say, well, I won't hire you as a notary because I want you to act this way. I want you to, and at that point, now you're asking me to be an employee. So as a business owner who's farming out orders, you got to be careful about what you're asking notaries to do because you might be asking us to operate more so as an employee than a contractor. When you start dictating too much to us or what we're supposed to say, do this, that, and the other, you're getting in the realm of asking us to operate like an employee. And that opens up a whole nother can of worms, whole nother can of worm. And you have to be careful of that. So you're being told to act basically to act like an employee, which makes sense as to people saying you need to be verifying or trying to calculate your hourly pay. We're not getting paid by the hour. We're trying to bring in X amount of revenue over a specific amount of time to cover those expenses for that specific amount of time. Is that time period monthly, weekly? What is it? You calculate it and then you go and work to make sure those bills are paid. That's what we're doing. And whatever you have left over, so if you're making $7,000 a month, and then after you pay your expenses, you have enough to give yourself a salary to some degree. And now that you're giving yourself a salary, that means you got to take taxes out and set that aside. Okay, then cool. Then you can do it. But if you're not bringing in that level of money, and a lot again, the people say that's what people say. Well, you need to be getting paid $400 and $500 and $1,000. Okay, great, but you still need to get with an accountant to find out the proper way. Don't just think that I'm making after my expenses, I got $2,000 left over. I'm gonna give myself a salary of $1,000 a week. Are you paying taxes on that to the unemployment people, to the government, FICA and all of that kind of stuff, Social Security? Are you doing it? Because payroll is expensive. Payroll, you see what I'm saying? Don't just listen to people telling you about profitability and about what you should be getting paid per hour if they can't definitively define it and break it down. The links in the description are to people out here who talk business. Read it for yourself. I'm not even going to go into all of those links. I showed you what I got from ChatGPT. The questions that I asked ChatGPT are in the description. You can copy and paste them into ChatGPT yourself and see what it puts out. If you got Bard, the one from Google, do the same and see for yourself and compare what they're telling you to what you're finding out from the internet and what your CPA is telling you. Because these people are just making up statements and just saying stuff, and they themselves don't really know. They don't know how to truly calculate profit and loss. They don't know how to calculate what they're making minus the deductions per order. I mean, who got time to do that per order? Because each order is different. You get paid $200 for an order, or 150 for an order, or 85 for an order. You could end up netting percentage wise more money from the lower order than from the higher order. It all depends. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. Okay. So I hope this has helped you. If you got any questions, put them in the comment. You see the email address, hit me up. If you want to discuss it, have a debate, or whatever you want to call it, to clarify anything that I said, I'll be more than happy. Matter of fact, we can get my tax guy up here, which we did an interview a couple of months back at the beginning of the year. I'll link it in the description. Boom. Okay. You can go look for it yourself. You can give him a call and he can talk to you about it. Okay. You ain't got to take my word for it. But most definitely, you need not to be taking these other folk word talking about you need to be trying to calculate your per hour rate as a notary for each signing that you do, the printing costs, the driving, this, that, and the other, because you ain't doing that for your W 2. Because here's my thing, and I'm going to end it with this. If you're justified in calculating your hourly rate, talking about your worth, because you say your worth dot 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 for your business, then why you can't do the same for your W 2? Why can't you calculate the same thing? Why can't you get paid that? Because most people will tell you, I can be getting paid $50 an hour, but it doesn't fully compensate me for all of the other stuff that I do just to get ready for this $50 an hour job. The daycare, the this, the that. Because they're paying you, they're not calculating any of that. They're saying, here's $50 an hour, just based off the fact that you got 10 years in the business and you got a bachelor's degree. Well, I got these expenses for me to take this job. I mean, I'm gonna have to get up about an hour early. I gotta take my that means I gotta go to a daycare and I gotta do this and I gotta go pick the kids up. They don't care about that. Okay, that's you want the $50 an hour in this job or what? Well, yeah, I do. Okay, then come on in. And then first thing they do is what? Start extracting money from your $50 an hour in taxes and insurance and all that kind of stuff. And you're probably left with $35 an hour after they do all of this, butchering of your pay. And you have no deductions that you can take except for you got to give money to charity and this, that, and the other. You might get a child tax credit, but if you're single, you don't get any of that. So the bottom line is simply this: get with a professional to find out and ask these people to justify and verify all of this stuff that they're saying. I know I just went on a rant, wasn't supposed to, but and I'm just letting out all the stuff that I keep hearing from people, their justifications of all of this, and it's tiresome because there are a lot of good people out here who are trying to do this business, but they're stifled because they keep getting derailed with the wrong information. That's the problem. They keep getting derailed with bad information, and now they're swirling in their head like, do I go this way? Do I go that way? I thought it was this. I thought it was that. you got to be grown. You got to be an adult and do this thing right. I'm serious. I'm serious. This is why I didn't do it live. So because I would have really been off the rails. All right. So I'm going to end it there. It's 30 minutes. I think that's long enough. Thank y'all for hanging in here to the end. Y'all have a good one, because honestly, there's a whole lot more I can say about this, but I'm going to leave it at that. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.